All right, well, welcome back to the summer edition of the Climate Performance Method newsletter. It's August 13th. My brother's birthday was yesterday, so that's the only reason I know what day it is anymore. It all runs together. I just got back from vacation at Maine. I'm happy to be home. I don't like vacation that much because I just love being here. Love what I do, so I don't really need vacations. People who love their job understand that. I'm obsessed. I know you are. I don't know if how was your vacation?
That was good. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, he went on vacation. He hasn't been on vacation in 3 years.
Yeah.
He's been bulletproof, hasn't missed a day of work, and besides.
Yeah, I miss a cut. Yeah, I miss
but not for being sick. Not for being sick, or even vacation, but absolutely bulletproof. He's the man. A couple things. We're going to change the schedule up today, so no athlete of the week this week. We got everybody in training camp. We got almost no communication on athletes and how they're doing yet. They're in the thick of it right now in training camp. We're running a bunch of tests. We this week we're going to have St. Augustine. We have
Holy Spirit girls basketball.
Mm-hmm. Next week we have
Atlanta Christian,
and Friday we'll have St. Augustine's basketball, which we already got Luke and Cole Moransky, who are at the prep right now too. They heard about the test, and that's why they called. So excited to see all you guys' test scores, and we're going to have Northfield Cardinals football next week. So we just have to schedule the exact time for that. But man, this has been fun watching and seeing how people, where they land, where they are, being a reality. And some people, and it was neat to see a lot of our mainland kids were the highest. Our kids were the highest testers around.
If you look through the mainland test results, I think it's out of the top 15, it's 13 of them are KPM kids. Number one, all the way down.
Yeah. And Chuck, thanks for having us out. Chuck Smith, state champion, head coach, my wide receivers coach. Tim Watson at his clinic over here.
Yeah.
The inner install was absolutely amazing.
Yep.
I've been reading through the pamphlet and stuff I filled it out too. And it's neat to organize your life and put framework around the thought processes that go into your daily activity, which equals so much more than, just at the end of the day you fall asleep and what happened. You actually are building towards something.
For sure.
At all times. So anyway, what we'll go into is the announcements right after this. All right, so big announcements are schedule change.
Yep.
So Labor Day is September 2nd. September 3rd, we'll start the new schedule. At that point, it'll be a 3:45, 5, 6:15 every day. And that includes 3:45. We're opening 3:45 back up to our normal schedule, not just Jets group. We'll have both in that group. They'll just divide at the beginning of class. So we'll accept 10 of each. So 10 of the Jets and then 10 of our normal population class. So that starts September 3rd. It's the day after Labor Day, and everyone will be back in school probably by Wednesday the 4th.
Right around there.
Probably maybe the day after. So that's the big one. Some cool things on our side is we've just been asked to lecture down at Naval Academy with the athletic department. Again, one of the biggest honors ever that we get to do this, especially at a academy school. Just like the Naval Academy, which is really neat. And a neat story about this was I was given the choice. You either come down here, we'll pay you handsomely, and we will put you up, and you bring you and your wife down to Annapolis. We'll have a great dinner, and everything. We'll take you out, or we'll subpoena you, and you'll come down there and do it. Teach us how to use this equipment here. And we're not asking. You're coming down. So I was like, I like the first one. I like the first one where I get paid and we have a good time. Then I get subpoenaed. And I think they said it jokingly, but I know they weren't taking no for an answer. So, but we would have loved to do that anyway. These are some of the neater honors that we ever get to do, that we ever get to have is get to speak at an academy. I mean, and for them just to respect our opinion is an honor. So if they're taking our advice, that's another even bigger honor, which they're doing a lot of their stuff that we showed them now, religiously. They're doing it, their pogo work, and some of the stuff that we taught them drilling wise, the whole off season. So they're really looking forward to it. So am I. I don't know.
I'm it's an incredible honor for the Naval Academy to just see us doing our thing and then say, hey, what are you guys doing? Because I feel like a lot of people, especially in social media as a parent, you're watching and you don't really know what's good. You don't really know what's bad. You don't really know what an elite time is. And if you're familiar with timing and combines, and this is what you do too as a football coach or as a separate sports coach, like you start to understand what the times are that are elite and what it requires in order to have those elite times. And we've been very fortunate and blessed to have so many kids over the past couple months drop legitimately professional level times, both girls and boys. So I think that when the Naval Academy goes, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I think it speaks, to how hard our kids are working, how well the program's working, and I'm really excited to go down there and this time we'll be in we'll have the full ability to talk. Last time we did it online via Zoom, and there was a lot of questions that it was hard to answer because obviously we do physical drilling, so it's not like we could get up and do the drill on Zoom call. So we'll be able to show them and give them great insight, and I'm excited to see how they adapt their training program to what we do.
We have 90 minutes, and we're going to do it military style. We'll do it to the minute. We'll have everything scheduled out because I know how scheduled they are. They're not going to want to see us show up there, flipping papers around. We got to be on point. We will, of course.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with Josh around. He gets everything looking sharp and nice and neat. The radio show, I'll start back up on Saturday. This Saturday, the locker room with Billy Schweim. I'm a co-host again for the third year. Or second year I'm the co-host, third year I'm on the show. And this one we have a cool segment called the Negadelphian PJ Corda. It's a 15-minute segment where he goes and has 3 bullet points of how he, takes a big movie on the Philadelphia sports, and but he loves Philadelphia sports, but it's the Negadelphian.
Yeah,
that's how they are.
Fans are.
They introduced it this weekend. It was a big hit, hilarious. Got sponsored right away, and then we'll do the real segment this weekend. They just introduced the character and brought him on the show for a second, and this week we'll actually have a segment. It'll be awesome. So please listen in. It's 10 to 12 on Saturdays and Sundays. This week I'll just be on Saturday. And it'll be a lot of fun. I get to throw my sports science segment into everything, and I get to plug our business and also talking Philadelphia sports, mostly football for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are the big ones. We're going to go into we're inside the lines right now with Josh because he wrote the programming since the beginning of the summer, and we have scheduled this out. Just give us the rundown.
Yeah, we're kind of in the thick of it, end of summer training. We knew right now that the lines would be much shorter, the classes would be slightly smaller than they were, so obviously our program is reflected in that, but the basics of it all is, again, we need to improve acceleration, forward locomotion, horizontal projection. That's everything. There's zero substitute for sprinting, and our program last week I even adapted it on top of what we programmed in the summertime, where it was just almost a full day of field work, and just the workout before that was just a full thing of jumping. But the main principles are the same, just hammering acceleration, hammering vertical force. The more vertical force we can put in the ground and displace ourselves going up, the better we can displace ourselves going out in the horizontal projection, and that was it. That was everything. That's all we did. It was hammer, and we made sure that the kids understood why and understood how this affects them, because again, the why is important. If you're just out here running around, you just are like, I don't know why we're doing this. I feel like there's less of a kind of dialed in effect, mentally. So we made sure that we taught every kid why and how, and there wasn't anything super special this week, just timing as we always do, testing as we always do, acceleration as we always do, and just kind of giving it to them in different ways. As far as every week we change the way that we coach the same exact thing. So at this point in the summer, every kid who's been here for since the start of June is pretty much an expert. I would hope at least on all of the terms and all the concepts that we use in here, and the results have just been phenomenal all summer. When we rotate back to exercises that we did 2 or 3 weeks ago, we're seeing 1.5 mile an hour improvements, 3-inch improvements, and that's huge. And adding inches to the vertical leap is one of the hardest things sports performance coaches say there is, and running faster at the rate that we do is something that a lot of people say is almost impossible to do, but I think that it's just because their mind is cluttered as far as how to get there, whereas you've figured it out how to get the result that you need in the shortest period of time with the highest ROI per workout, and it reflects in Naval Academy calling us and saying, hey, what are you guys doing?
And this week, talk about how we did some of the work taking away the arms during acceleration movements.
Yeah, so
Get out here,
yeah,
bud.
I'm getting like a fly all over me here. Yeah, so I explained to the kids this week, we hitting acceleration is something that every kid has done, using arms and running and moving. But one way you can add resistance to acceleration is taking away the arms. And you can take away the arms a variety of different ways. You can have your hands out. You can have your hands up. You can have your hands in a hug. We used that yesterday. Hands behind the back is another one. And then you have hands behind the head is another one. You can use sticks. But it's just another form of resistance that teaches the body how to move forward more efficiently. When you take away the arms, the body goes, all right, how do we compensate for speed? Well, we're going to give a little bit more into the legs. And then we get the arms back. Well, it's just like we are resistance. Now the arms are back, and the arms are going to work a little bit faster, and they're going to work a little bit better with the legs. And over time, that's why we have 4 or 5 kids in the facility right now dropping professional level times in the combine tests that we do, like legitimately professional level times. So that's part of the whole thing.
I've actually watched, and you can watch when you take away the arms, it actually shortens your stride a little bit, and then it looks like when you're hurdling a little bit, when your stride shortens down to get stay in a rhythm. When you take away the arms, the strides have to shorten because your hips can't swivel and like whip a little bit.
Yeah.
You get a little whipping action out of the swiveling of the hips. And when you're undulating your upper body, again, like contralaterally with the lower body, and it's switching back and forth like this, you get a little bit of a whip action with your hip. You take that away, and you have to pedal quicker and take more like a shorter accelerating stride. So it really, really helps during acceleration when you don't have as much swivel and
exactly.
whip.
Yeah.
So it's a neat thing to see during acceleration. I've seen people do it at high speeds too. It shortens their stride. It looks just like a hurdle track.
Yeah.
And we've seen taking away at like if you were to run 100 meters, taking your arms away, it adds about 20% to your time. So it's a neat thing to watch how much that affects 20%. Your arms are worth 20% of your run. So correcting your arm motion and making sure your arm motions, it's 20%. That's a big portion of your run. So if you ran down the track if you were a 10 flat and you took your arms away, you're running 12 flat.
Yeah.
That's how much of an effect that has. So your arms are something big that we want to work on. Now,
exactly.
80% of it's coming from your legs.
Yeah.
But you can't tell the synergistic effect until you take take it away.
Yeah, and then what will the body do when the arms are gone? It's going to figure out how to make the legs work as best as possible. It's just another form of resistance that, like, these little wrinkles may seem, I think, from the outside looking in, like, well, they're just not using their arms. It's not really that clever at all. But when you do it long enough and you do it with the right programming and you make sure that the way it's executed is done correctly, because I say this all the time, it's like the exercises that we write on the board and we program you can do them however you want. It's really, we're trying to produce a specific adaptation. So the execution of the exercise is what really matters the most. Like, you can do a squat 1,000 different ways to get 1,000 different results from it. And same thing in here. Like, we do the same things as a lot of other people do. But it's the execution that matters, and the intent that matters, and the rest time that matters, and the actual resistance load that matters. That is the reason that we're getting, these great adaptations and these great results. And
neat thing is we're actually having an effect on other performance coaches right now. Some people up in Massachusetts, Coach Mitchum actually said, he's like, we got a guy, they're down here vacationing in Long Branch, and he was like, he wants to see our facility so much because they show our videos in their place in Massachusetts all the time. So he said, hey, can my guy come down and see it? He just wants to see your facility and everything. Yeah. And if we were up there, we went to see his because it was cool. And he is saying more and more that, and he's a big Louis Simmons French contrast method guy. He's like, I love what you guys are doing. I'm changing a lot of what I do into what you guys do, and even maybe moving into a bigger facility to accommodate the things that you guys do in your place. Huge amount of respect, because I have a huge amount of respect for what he does. He's the guy. Brilliant and very creative. And I love how he's. And you need to think about Scott Mitchum is how he coaches. He coaches with such a truthful way. He will tell people for real how they are. And he goes, you might be a great baseball player, but you're a terrible athlete. He goes, I got kids, I got 8th graders that did better than you, and you're in college. And it's a funny way to say that. And we let the numbers speak. He'll just speak it out loud. He's always been like that. I've known him since college, and he's awesome. He's an amazing human being. I love him to death. But anyway, we had a great week. Vacation was great. Kids had a great time on the beach, and I'm refreshed and ready to go. Get ready for this fall, man. It's gonna be a great fall. We're gonna do a lot of stuff with our online programming. We are launching our one-on-ones with adults too. During the day, we made that announcement 2 days ago.
And when we do it, it's going to be the same way that we kind of operate in here. Like, we're going to need to know exactly what you want out of this, how we're going to do it. It won't be like a gate analysis or anything like that, but it'll be same way we do this stuff in here. It's just going to be the same way we do that as well.
Measure in, measure out. What do we get? What do we produce? Numbers and data, and we can do that, and that's cool because we can also use that for our online business as well, where you can see now we're hitting people that aren't just in the school age thing, but we got people that are adults that want to increase their vertical leap. People that I was aiming this perfectly at ex-athletes, somebody like Dale Curtis Sr., right? The dad who's an ex-Virginia, soccer player, stud, big time, and he's like, I would love to get back to that where I was. He'll never get back to that. He's 48. And he doesn't want to get back to where he was 22. It's not going to happen. But you want to approach that and get close as close as you can. It's a feeling that you miss. You'll never get rid of it. It will always be inside of you because at some point you were to the pinnacle of your sport. And you don't it's always depressing feeling that you're not there anymore. So you want to approach that or have something getting close to that. And that's kind of what we were going after. And it was a huge hit because my phone's been ringing off the hook to do it. People have been asking me for years. I just have denied it. Because we have busy doing other things. But I just think it's another way we can take this business to a different level that we never imagined 3 years ago that we'd be where we're at right now. So we'll keep it going. Hopefully you guys have any questions about that. Please hit us up on our social medias, ClemicPerformanceMethod.com, the Instagram Clemic Performance Method, even my own Facebook page, which I do a ton of on my own Facebook page, David Clemic. Coach has got his own sub page, his own alter ego called PFT or Professor Fast. You can hit him up on that there too. It's pretty funny. He's entertaining with that too. But anyway, from Clemic Performance Method Studio in Egg Harbor Township, we'll see you next time.